Good day, Jay. I've been following you for years, and in my opinion, you are absolutely the marketing and sales industry leader, and I am a very distant second. It's in my opinion. Finally, after all these years, I will hopefully as a result of this interaction, be able to get a picture with you to put up on uh, my personal wall of fame, I guess. Uh, Brian Tracy, um, I met Brian in uh, 2011. We uh, were part of a book project that Celebrity Branding uh, Publishers Publishing that they published back in 2011. And uh, I had the opportunity on that project to come out to Hollywood and do a whole thing and meet Brian. And then about less than 12 months before I met Brian, I spent 3 days in Michael Gerber's dream room. And it was kind of interesting because uh, before I ever knew that he had a dream room, I had named my company Dreaming with Entrepreneurs. When I went out to his dream room for 3 days in California, it was the 55th time that he had, 55th and the last time, 54th or 55th and last time that he did a dream room. Um, Now his people are doing them for him, but it was a wonderful experience, and um, I actually uh, took Dreaming with Entrepreneurs to its next level after that 3 days with Michael. In response to your video of last Thursday, rather than me uh, uh, write answers to your 15 bullet points, I thought it'd be a better idea if I did a video because, well, we are only celebrate business concept, which I'm going to talk about today as an opportunity for you, is I first publicly used the words celebrate business less than 75 days ago when I had a meeting in the vice president of sales and special projects or whatever at the Cincinnati, USA Regional Chamber. I sat down with Tom and we had about an hour meeting, and I shared with him my vision of what I wanted Celebrate Business to be. In a sense, I was exploring or validating, I should say, the fact that I should launch the project right here in Cincinnati, where I have lived for 35 years, and I went to college here for 5 years. I Interestingly enough, though, the last 14 of my years, I have been in cyberspace. So I was not offline at all, or 99.9% of the time for the last 14 years. But it's been fun uh, coming offline, coming offline. And now I have a hybrid kind of situation because I had built a nice following on online, and I wanted to be able to leverage that into coming offline and going face to face with folks. Uh, and so too, in the last 30 days, I have been to two face to face networking events, and I've had more fun. And I have not um, been to a networking event in 15 years prior. So it was a lot of fun to come offline. Uh, and as a bonus, uh, I uh, have tested a subject line to an email, and it's a business email. It doesn't necessarily have to be a business email, but uh, I tested it to in the B2B environment to yes or no decision makers in companies as I was doing my testing here in Cincinnati. And I will share that with you. Well, I have literally I have 100% open rate with the email, and these folks, uh, 99% of them have never met me before. And so it was gratifying to see an open rate that high. But I'll share that with you in the future. So uh, I hope you enjoy the video. And um, I actually signed the outside email uh, in the name of Grandpa David. And there is a reason I did that, and you'll hear about that soon. Okay, first I've got to tell you your email, and I've been, as I said, I've been following you for a long time. Uh, your email was the most unique B2B email I've ever seen, and it got me excited and saying, "Geez, Jay, as always, has made me think about something." And so, uh, what I was eventually uh, working up to in the strategy of the business that I've created, the project that I've created. I was going to do what I'm going to do with you today at a later time, but you created the opportunity for me to do it now. So take advantage of the opportunity. Uh, your first bullet point asks type of business, and I'm going to digress and give you a short version of how we got today. The project uh, actually got started 3 years ago when a friend of mine uh, heavily suggested that I write a book. She had been in my exercise classes for 13, 14 years, and she's heard almost every story that I've had to tell. And she said, David, you need to collect all these. So I said, well, I guess maybe it's time for me to put everything together in one place. Which, what a fun, interesting task. So that night, I went home literally, and I bought the domain mylegacystory.site. Bought it about 3 years ago. And so everything that I've been doing in video, in writing, all the postings that I do uh, become a part of my legacy story. And then I decided, wow, and I call my legacy story a 73-year entrepreneurial journey as a publisher, producer, providing marketing sales strategies. Uh, I haven't been doing that for 73 years. I've been doing that for over 50 years and had a lot of fun doing it. And when the timing was right, and I saw an opportunity and I got an epiphany. I said, you know what, David, it's time to start working on your final business chapter, not total life chapter, but business chapter of my legacy story. And that's when I started to uh, pull uh, all my uh, well, actually, what I'm going to show you, it all started uh, about 2 years ago when I created a postcard. And actually, the only one I have close at hand here is a. Oh, here's the postcard. Uh, Thank you for 19 minutes of your time. That's my theme. Thank you for 19 minutes of your time. It was a very, very, very successful marketing and sales campaign I did in 1978. And the theme of it has kind of stayed with me all these years. And on the back of the card, I tell just in basics my story. My top line, the top line of all my stories, uh, asking, do they yield a return on investment in their marketing and sales endeavors? Obviously, the return on investment is uh, the sales. That's the return on investment. But more importantly, uh, are marketing and sales in sync to efficiently deliver your profits? And then the other major theme of mine is lifetime value. And I probably established this in all the work I did with insurance companies in the mid 90s, from 1994 till 1999. I was the main insurance marketer at the Direct Marketing Association in those 5 years. I was editor of one of their newsletters for my expertise, and it was a great time of my life. At that time, I gained access to 19 of the top 52 insurance companies with a marketing and sales perspective, uh, campaigns, creative ideas to bring into what work but could work better. And so those are really good years, very productive years. And I tested this card uh, to a small group, very, very well, the highest level of decision making within the company, to see if I could get a response to that card in a B2B environment. As very critical was the QR code. That was nothing new, obviously, although I did use my first QR code a long time ago. Again, it's got to be probably 15, 16 years ago. I used my first QR code. So I took the learnings that I got from this card, and I then came up with the concept of, okay, uh, we actually, this is a mock-up that I have actually presented to Kroger, to the decision maker at Kroger. Um, he saw this late last week, uh, maybe the same day that your email came out, now that I think about it. And we have not connected uh, back to talk about it, but Kroger would have their branding. Uh, well, let me tell you what I proposed at Kroger. My proposal to Kroger, quite simply, was they would do whatever branding they determined in any given zip code. Uh, it would be in their best interests. Well, they have to maintain the corporate branding, but each zip code could present an opportunity to do some new kind of testing for them, and they are the best. Uh, the gentleman who uh, I have established communication with. Uh, I don't know if you ever heard of a company called Don Humby. They were a British company that Kroger actually um, bought half the company. I don't know how many years ago, uh, uh, and it was for the purpose of supermarket research, data research, consumer research, and he obviously was having a relationship with Kroger because Kroger owned half his company. So Kroger decided to hire him to be their uh, uh, premier marketer, chief marketing officer, uh, chief merchandiser, marketing officer. And as I was doing some more research on him, lo and behold, he is now CEO of, simultaneous with his position at Kroger, he is CEO of the data part of a company, uh, 84.51 degrees is the name of the company. It was a spinoff from Don Humby. So the moral of the story, uh, the founder or CEO of a company uh, uh, went to work with his main customer, also investor, and then they spun off a their part of Don Humby to, and he's CEO of that. So I have access to great data, but I also, for the purposes of talking to any retailer, but I had Kroger in mind. I bought the domain shopyourzipcode.solutions, and it is that theme that they could use. So they could take the concept I've developed is there are 10 QR codes, 11 QR codes on the back, theirs in the middle, and 10 other stories, business stories that they want to tell. Now, in Kroger's case, I'm sure couponing will become a part of it, and I know it will be because uh, that they make money when they get involved in co-promotions with their manufacturers, and uh, but they also might want to tell some business stories. That's the thing, and that's why. Well, I'll get to it in a moment or two. Um, why I what I'm looking for in this whole project. So obviously these QR codes lead to web landing pages, and I can't show you a web landing page as such on the screen, but if you go to the email, the signature section of the email below, there are about 6 or 7 links to web landing pages that I use. I have uh, 20, at least 20 web landing pages, and 6, 7 of them are daily active. So that's the concept. A postcard storyboard. Here's the story. Uh, Linking to a web landing page. Now, the web landing page, obviously, all that stuff isn't unique. What makes the web landing page unique is the way that I have developed it from a marketing and sales perspective. Some web landing pages have 3 videos. Some web landing pages have 2, some have 1, depending upon the objective. What is it that you want to achieve? Uh, what's your marketing sales objective with this page? And that's how we determine. That's how I determine how many videos and the nature. And I do the scripting for most of the videos. There, the second video in a 3 video web landing page is always going to be the um, uh, the person, the company itself, or person, in many cases, it's going to be people, they will be the main content of that video. I don't know yet until we get involved how I'm going to be involved, but it's going to be their story. Why? What is their value proposition? What value does the customer take away from a business relationship with them? Um, so I think those were my initial comments. Let me delve right into the I'm telling you about the type of business it evolved from a living ebook. I call my legacy story a living ebook because it changes every day. It's added to every day. It's ongoing. It doesn't end until I end. Uh, and in Tom Deere's office at the Chamber of Commerce, um, less than 75 days ago, uh, just in the middle of the meeting, I said, I am calling my project Celebrate Business. And Tom got the biggest smile on his face as I shared that with him because he's a Chamber of Commerce and that's what they do. They celebrate business. Now, while I'm thinking about it, Jay, um, regardless of what happens with this with my proposal for a collaborative partnership with you, I would be honored to create a web landing page for you. It would be one of the greatest business thrills of my lifetime to be able to do that. So that is an open offer. Scope of the business, bullet point 2, size of business, revenue. Um, we're just getting started. However, and what I haven't said yet, my ultimate mission on my Celebrate Business project is to put a branded storyboard, postcard storyboard, web landing page into 46,683 zip codes. 41,683 zip codes in the United States. Each one having a different branding depending upon, and here's the business part of what I am doing. I am in need of 41,683 co-publishers, producers, and host sponsors for this endeavor. So those folks will claim their zip codes, and we will develop the stories to be told in the business stories to be told in that zip code, and hopefully, well, in the instance of Kroger, I proposed to Kroger a test. I have proposed to them to do postcards to do the project in 18 zip codes. 9 of those zip codes are theirs. Uh, uh, right here. Oh, let me digress again for a moment. I have made the decision after my meetings with the chamber and my market research that it's going to get launched right here in Cincinnati. The 309 zip codes that um, the chamber have in their marketing area, their MSA as they call it. Those are their 4 Ohio counties. The 4 Ohio counties have 309 zip codes. Those are going to be the targeted zip codes for this project, for the launch of the project. And so with Kroger's, I proposed 18 zip codes. nine. There's nine. Albertsons, which they just announced that they are merging. Albertsons is merging with them. That was announced last week. So it would be an ideal tool to measure Albertsons, do something with Albertsons zip codes. The mindset is their business strategy. Of course, now it's going to meld into one business strategy, but they certainly can test ideas with that. And so, why the number nine? I propose their three best zip codes, their three average zip codes, and the three of their worst performing zip codes, so they can get a cross section of how the concept will work in their various zip codes. And working three and three, it gives them a good cross section. Nine zip codes out of 309, what, 3%, but if Kroger lacks it, they have the ability to probably buy. My guess is reasonably 95% of the zip codes in the United States, with all their various entities. How much fun would that be? So that's a sense of that's so for the $175,000, I told Kroger's they would get 18 zip codes. They would get up to 180 videos, business videos, either for them or for other businesses in that zip. It doesn't matter. That would be their decision, obviously, on how they wanted to use them. But they would get uh, uh, 10 videos times 18 zip codes is 180 180 zip codes, and that would 11 videos per zip code would create 11 landing pages. So they would get up to 180 landing pages with those videos, depending upon how we structure everything to their specifications, obviously. Okay, so I hope I've given you a good feel. The other, I have another proposal in front of a healthcare insurance broker here in Cincinnati. I believe they are the largest healthcare broker, and I just happened to buy my Medicare Advantage insurance from the fellow who I am proposing to. His proposal is a $10,000 one zip code proposal, and essentially he would get the same. And the theme with him, I stressed heavily, was that obviously I'm a prime target for a Medicare Advantage product, and it's amazing how much wasted money there is with all. Well, there's three brokers right now are on television with very, very heavy television schedules, spending millions of dollars. And as I showed Chris, I held up this package. This is how much Medicare Advantage mail I have gotten in less than 2 weeks. How much wasted resource is that all about? That's the product concept. That's how it's going to be used. Showed you two definite applications of it. So I hope I've covered enough information for you. Market is targeted the 41,683 zip codes in the United States. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this. If you take 41,683 zip codes and multiply it by $10,000 to secure that zip code, that generates cash flow of almost $42 million, 428, 416, almost $417 million of cash flow. And of course, one of your questions was how much profit, what's the profit margin? Uh, I can't give you an exact number, but with one person, myself, doing all the things that are getting done, the profit margins are extremely high. Uh, and that's interesting. So as the concept scales and grows, uh, more folks will have to be brought into the operation, but on the same kind of basis that I have. Here's a business opportunity. Here's an opportunity for you to um, generate some very serious cash flow. The theoretically, the 309 zip codes that are in play right now in the greater Cincinnati market uh, represent $3 million of cash flow, and I can myself, I would have no problems putting together 3 landing pages every day. I I do it now. Uh, that's not even pushing myself, but the key is the video part of it. Uh, I just use a template. I use a GoDaddy template to build the web landing page. Very simple, very easy. Even I can do it. I just built my first one 2 years ago. I've spent a lot of my lifetime talking about websites, working with developers on websites, working with companies developing the marketing and sales strategies of those websites. But I've never physically put anything together myself until 2 months ago, 2 years ago, when I built my first web landing page. I was getting so crazy with it. I was building one a month, and create how can I best use this? What marketing and sales concept campaign can I use for this? So we've got 20 of them. Uh, Number of active buyers by product service category, number of inactive buyers. Those are not applicable. Those questions to me. Unique advantages you offer. Uh, the good news, the unique advantage I offer is me. Uh, the bad news is the unique advantage I offer is me because uh, I I have 24 hours in the day, and I can say right now at this point in my life, uh, it's amazing to me how much productivity, creative productivity, marketing, sales productivity I have today, more so than I have ever had in my life. Oh, you know what? I wanted to give you a real um, brief uh, top line of my career. Um, that's a story that was published on the front page of the business newspaper here in Cincinnati in '02. uh, I was on the front page, and they jumped the story to the inside back, so I had good coverage on that paper, and I was being quoted as what do I foresee as business in the Cincinnati market in 2002. I got great response from that one. Um, that's a picture of my father. My father was responsible for uh, getting me involved as a publisher. That was not I was never uh, necessarily going to do that by design, but my father, when he asked me, uh, why don't I quit screwing around? And he didn't use the word screwing. He said, why don't you go to law school? And it was January 1971. The Vietnam War was still going on. I was invited to participate in the war. I graduated college a quarter early because I had all my credits. I was working my way through college. I said, why spend more money? And it was a dumb decision to graduate college early. Had I not, I would not have gone through all the hassling. But anyways, uh, I, I I'd wanted to go to law school, but and law school did not actually keep you out of the draft back in '71. So uh, my dad was very frustrated. Uh, uh, he went inside and literally made a phone call to a publisher in the same industry. My dad uh, realized his lifetime dream by buying the Stark Jewish News. Um, he bought the Stark Jewish News 6 years before he passed away. So he had 6 years of realizing what his lifetime dream was. He called a gentleman. He did his research, and back in those days, there wasn't the internet, so I don't know really how Dad did it. We never shared the experience, but he found a publisher in. He found an investor in Charlotte, North Carolina, of a Jewish monthly magazine in all of North Carolina was our market, and so my dad found him one morning. It was a Monday morning. Uh, Monday afternoon, I was on the phone with Mr. Blumenthal. He wanted me down in Charlotte the next day, which we made the arrangements, and I got to Charlotte, and I left Charlotte with a task objective of publishing a monthly Jewish periodical. And I wanted to share this. The menorah, Hanukkah menorah. The reason being, uh, that was the last cover that my father used on the Stark Jewish News in his market in Stark County, Ohio. Um, I had produced that cover in North Carolina, and I used it for my Hanukkah story. Oh my goodness, it's a sparrow. It's a clock, not a real sparrow. Uh, I had used it, and I had access to way more resources in North Carolina than my father did. So what a moment it was in my life when I sent negatives to my father so that he could use it. And it just so happens that stained glass window, Hanukkah stained glass window, was the stained glass window in my uh, synagogue growing up. So it was all a very special thing. And that's why publishing has been a very very special thing to me, and I have found out over the years that I'm good at it. uh, that now in Stark County Magazine is a magazine. I bought the Stark Jewish News from my mother um, 90 days after we were business partners at the death of my father. And I told my mother I did not want to be her business partner. I wanted to be her son. My grandfather, her father, heard me heard me say that to his daughter, and he looked at me straight, square on, and said, "David, give your mother $10,000 and do whatever you want." I said, "Okay, Papa, you're the CEO of the family. That's what I'll do." I I was 24 years old at the time, and um, I didn't I knew what $10,000 meant because I had just gone to college, but I couldn't put the $10,000 in the perspective of day to day business at that moment. It didn't take me long to make it happen. So that's the publishing board. Um, the other thing I wanted to share with you, yeah, you can see it. For This is my logo that um, Dreaming with Entrepreneurs. It's a cloud kind of thing, abstract dreaming with entrepreneurs. And while I was doing a video conversation with an individual, while we were doing it, he did a caricature of me, and he then painted it and sent it to me. And it's got the banner "Dreaming with Entrepreneurs" on it. What a wonderful gift to get from somebody who you had just been doing a conversation with. Well, over the years, uh, my grandchildren live away from me. One family is now in Dallas. They used to be in New York City. Started out in Rome. The other family is up the road in Columbus. But my oldest granddaughter, Eloise, is 9 now, and when she was 7, after watching all the videos that we did as she was growing up, she said to me, "Grandpa David, what's an entrepreneur?" And I almost started crying, and I said, "Eloise, that is, you don't know how impactful you asking that statement is, because now Grandpa David is going to uh, show you for the rest of your life, the rest of my life, how what an entrepreneur is." And it really is my dream that maybe in 9 years, when she's 18, she may tell her folks, "Well, Grandpa David's, I need to continue to celebrate business project because that's what I have to do. I got to learn it, and hopefully that'll happen." And that is very appropriate to the end of the story. Are we at the end yet? Um, I think we are pretty close to the end. Why you feel the business underperforming? It's not underperforming. The progress that I have been making is way beyond expectation, and I'm very, very happy to people are paying attention. People are listening, and the sales will happen. There will be a sale this week. Uh, I feel it in my bones. uh, what you believe the business is worth now and why? Uh, it's my life. So how do you value that? Uh, I know that's in your interest, but I think I'm going to share an idea, a partnership idea with you that will change your feelings a little bit there. Do you want to sell all or part of your business? Well, let's get to why your email. Can I buy your business? Should I buy your business? Is your business worth buying? Of last Thursday, and certainly got me to thinking. My 2 years ago, my youngest son, who is 34 now, he was 32 then, I guess. He said, "Dad, um, you do a great job of taking care of yourself, but what are you going to do when you're no longer able to take care of yourself?" And I said, "Sam, I'll be very honest with you. I've never ever thought about that. So I'm telling you what, starting today, I'm going to develop my exit strategy. But I got a lot of work to do. I still need an exit strategy." Uh, my exit strategy is I want to collaborate with an entrepreneurial minded individual like yourself, certainly like yourself, uh, who will actually own 90% of a business entity that will be bought. The other 10% will be owned by my grandchildren. There's five of them, so each will own 2%. And I will be have a lifetime contract to build this project with you uh, owning 90% of the project. I have no problem doing that. Uh, with me, my entire life, interestingly, money has never really been the driving force of why I do what I do. What has been the driving force of what I do and why I do it is that I set goals and objectives, and I don't quit. I don't stop until I achieve those goals and objectives. And that's the win for me. And if you do the right things, make the right decisions, the rest will fall in place. You'll be able to support your family if you're doing the right thing. That's always been my philosophy. So I think that's. I'm looking for 41,683 co-publishers, producers, host sponsors, each who will commit to $10,000 per zip code, that they want to secure for their marketing and sales purposes. And uh, I said there if Kroger is going to see value in this, there's no question in my mind. They're going to see value in it. Uh, they could buy up all the zip codes, almost all of them themselves, or they may want to buy me, or whatever the situation might be. It's a great place to start with a concept. So I look forward to personally meeting you, to doing it, starting with a video chat, and uh, remind you that I committed to, and it would be my honor to commit to developing together a web landing page for you, and we'll put you up on the big board with Brian and Michael. Uh, and that's what it's all about. That's the fulfillment of my dream. That's really what my legacy story is all about. And I would be honored to share it with you. I look forward to speaking with you, Michael. Michael J. Michael J.